Jesus left the temple area and was going away when his disciples approached him to point out the temple buildings. He said to them in reply, "You see all these things, do you not? Amen, I say unto you, there'll not be left here a stone upon another stone that will not be thrown down." As he was sitting on the Mount of Olives, his disciples approached him privately and said, "Tell us, when will this happen? And what sign will there be of your coming and of the end of the age?" Jesus said to them in reply, "See that no one deceives you, for many will come in my name, saying, 'I am the Messiah,' and they will deceive many. You'll hear of wars and reports of wars. That you see that you are not alarmed, for these things must happen, but it will not yet be the end. Nation will rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and there'll be famines and earthquake from place to place. And all these things are beginnings of the labor pains. They will hand you over to persecution, they'll kill you, you'll be hated by all nations because of my name. And then when you'll be led into sin, they will betray and hate one another. Many false prophets will rise and deceive many. And because the increase of evil doing, the love of many will grow cold. But the one who perseveres in the end will be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom will be preached throughout the world as a witness to all nations, and then the end will come. When you see the desolate abomination spoken through Daniel the prophet standing by the holy place, the reader understand. Then those in Judea must flee to the mountains. A person on the housetop must not go down to get the things out of his house. A person in the field must not return to get his cloak. Woe to pregnant women and nursing mothers in those days. Pray that your flight will not be in winter or on the Sabbath. For at the time there will be great tribulation, such has not been since the beginning of the world until now, nor will there ever be. And in those days had not been shortened, and if those days had not been shortened, no one would be saved. But for the sake of the elect, they will be shortened. If anyone says to you, 'Look, here is the Messiah,' or 'There he is,' do not believe it. False messiahs and false prophets will arise, and they will perform signs and wonders so great as to deceive. If that were possible, even they will perform signs and wonders so great as to deceive, if that were possible, even the very elect, Therefore, I have told it to you beforehand. So, if they say to you, 'Here is the desert,' do not go out there. And if they say, 'Here is the inner rooms,' do not believe it. Just as lightning comes from the east and is seen as far as the west, so will the coming of the Son of Man be. Wherever the corpse is, the vultures will gather. Immediately after the tribulation of those days, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light, and the stars will fall from the sky, and the powers of the heavens will be shaken. And then the sign of the Son of Man will appear in heaven, and all the tribes of the earth will mourn, and they will see the Son of Man coming upon the clouds of heaven with power and eternal and great glory. Son of Man coming from the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he will send out his angels with a trumpet blast, and they will gather his elect from four winds, from the one end of the heaven to the other. And he will send out his great angels with the trumpet blast, and they will gather his elect from four winds, from one end of the heavens to the other. Learn a lesson from the fig tree. When its branch becomes tender and sprout leaves, you know that summer is near. In the same way, when you see all these things, know that the end in the same way, when you see all these things, know that he is near at the gates. Amen, amen, I say to you, this generation will not pass away until all these things have taken place. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will not pass away. But of that day and hour no one knows, neither the angels or the angels of heaven, nor the Son, but the Father alone. Nor the Son, but the Father alone. For as it was in the days of Noah, so will be coming the Son of Man. In those days before the flood, they were entering and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage up to the day that Noah entered the ark. Oh, in those days of the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, and to the day that Noah entered the ark. Up to the day that Noah entered the ark, they did not know until they did not know until the flood came and carried them all away. So will also at this. They did not know until the flood came and carried them all the way. So will it be also at the coming of the Son of Man. 2 men will be out in the field, one will be taken, one will be left. 2 women will be grinding at the mill, one will be taken and one will be left. Therefore stay awake, for you do not know on which day your Lord will come. Be sure of this, if the master of the house had known the hour of the night when the thief was coming, he would have stayed awake and not let his house get broken into. So too must you be prepared, for an hour you do not expect. The Son of Man will come. Who then is the faithful and prudent servant? Who then is the fruitful, prudent servant whom the master has put in charge of his household to distribute them to? Who then is the faithful and prudent servant who the master has put in charge of his household to distribute them their food at the proper time? Blessed is the servant whom his master on his arrival finds doing so. Amen, I say unto you, he will put him in charge of all his property. But if that wicked servant says to himself, my master is long delayed, and begins to beat his fellow servants and eat and drink with drunkards, the master's servants will come on an unexpected day and at an unknown hour, and punish him severely, and assign him a place with the hypocrites, where there will be wailing and grinding of teeth. So, hun, we must in our house, hun, we must always be prepared for getting our family and everyone else ready to go when all the craziness happens. To think that there's going to be something even more crazier than this coronavirus is. So here's some Jesus warnings of how we're supposed to prepare. Prepare a place. Prepare for the Lord's coming. He says here, put in charge of his household. You must be prepared. Must be prepared with the food and everything distributed, ready to go, so that we can go and just wait out these temporary tribulations, and help others do so. And those who will continue to be like as if in the days of Noah, just partying and whatnot, when the Lord returns, they're not prepared. They're in deep poo-poo. Lots of wailing and crashing and grinding of teeth. So we are now going to go to chapter 25. Chapter 25. Beep. Thank you for watching our show. We're gonna be right back. With you.